What's going on, guys? It's your boy Hollywood, back at it again for not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row with my main man, Chris Swaggy C. Williams. Yo, it would not be the end of the year without an end of the year wrap up to wrap up what happened in 22. But the big question is, like, when I look in the background, this is not, you guys are so used to seeing in the penthouse doing it real big, but right now it's got a black door behind me. What's up, Swaggy? Why are we not in the penthouse?
Bro, first of all, I left LA. You know this. Everybody knows this. I'm not living in Los Angeles no more. But I came back to Los Angeles because what you said off camera, this is the most demanded video that I'm getting right now. Like the 2022 recap, why don't we have it already? And Bailey's at the crib in Puerto Rico, so I decided to just come back to Los Angeles, shoot it with you guys here. Brandon let us use his Peerspace studio, Connor's shooting, so it's a lot easier to just come out here, shoot the recap, and then go back to the crib, to the family.
Yo, you don't know how much I appreciate that. I appreciate you literally just flying in, just making a special trip just for this.
That's it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little mad. I was like, dang, Swaggy didn't call me to do the recap video. I'm like, we're not doing a recap video?
We gotta do it,
and then all
bro.
of a sudden I get that last minute like, hey bro, like,
hey, we doing tomorrow. I text you like, I'm on a flight tomorrow, bro.
We doing this, let's go. So
Yeah.
I was like, I appreciate it, but I know the fans are really gonna be excited about it because this was a big year for you, bro.
I think that this is the only video that I do all year where I'm unfiltered and I talk about every single topic known to man that everybody wants to talk about. Throughout the year, it's like little filler. I'm doing trading videos and secure the swag, but like the recaps, the one we did in 2020 and 2021, and now this is the only video where all like everything's off the table. We can ask whatever, talk about whatever.
Swaggy C uncensored.
I kind of get into it. Yeah. You feel me? So that's why everybody's kind of looking forward to it.
I like it. But all right, so I think the big thing that we got to start with, because there's a lot of bullet points, and I know that everybody wants to get into certain things, and I'm glad that Bailey's doing well in Puerto Rico. But let's talk about that, because so you were in the last video. Like let's recap real quick. And the last time we were in a penthouse, right? But we were in a penthouse, and you had left and gone to Texas, and you were gonna do it big down in Texas, and you were like, yeah, I'm not rocking with Texas like that.
Sure.
Then you came back to LA, and then you were like, yeah, I'm out again. But you didn't say, all right, I'm out, I'm gonna go move to Florida, or I'm gonna move to like Nevada. Bro, you left, like, I guess not the country because it's still a territory, but you left and went to Puerto Rico. Like, what, for the people who like haven't been day ones, who don't know the whole story, like what made you leave LA, which is, it's not home for you because you're not even from this coast.
But it's technically kind of home, because I grew up like the last 4 or 5 years. I had like the biggest growth of my life here, so technically it is home. But I get what you're saying though.
So like, what made you leave home and go to Puerto Rico?
You know what's funny is when we did our 2021 recap, in there I was talking about like I'm never going to say I'm gonna do something and not do it. And Connor, right now, like, please import the clip of me telling Hollywood I'm not going to just think about Puerto Rico and not move there. I don't have to live my life saying, well, what if I lived in Texas right now? Like, that's one thing about me. Like, I didn't like Kansas City, Missouri when I lived there with Bailey, but I can say I lived there. I tried it out. Like, I will never say, well, I wonder how life is in Puerto Rico and just wonder about it for 6 months and then never move there. I want to see it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to move there. And y'all can watch the clip, because clearly I said that. It was already in my mind. What's funny is, like, for those who aren't day ones, like, I knew about Puerto Rico, I want to say February or March of 2021. It may be April, but earlier 2021. And we had talked about this off camera, like, is it even relevant? But Austin texted me. Believe it or not, it was his idea. He texted me, and I still got the screenshot that Connor's gonna put on the screen. And he said, yo, Logan and Jake are living in Puerto Rico, and this is what they're doing, and they've been out here for this long. And I'm like, nah, you're lying. There's no way. Like, why? Like, why Puerto Rico of all places? And I looked into it, and then I started studying Impulsive, and yeah, they were really out there. But it seemed so far-fetched at the time, like, am I really gonna go to Puerto Rico? And I was talking to Bailey about it, and she's like, oh yeah, let's do it. But it was like kind of a joke at first. But Texas was real, because we already visited Texas maybe 3 or 4 times with the family. Her family is like really, really close, maybe in like an hour flight.
She went to school.
She went to college out there, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like, and all her college friends are still there. So it was like, okay, why not Texas? When I visited there, the cost of living was ridiculous. Like, I mean, like, we were really gonna build a I mean, everybody knows the story, like from Secure the Swag, like a 22,000 square foot mansion for like $6 million. Like that is ridiculous. You don't get that anywhere else. It's ridiculous. But then when I went there, obviously I did not like it. So coming back to LA for the second time, what people don't know is that coming back to LA for the second time was always temporary. Me and Bailey decided in Texas that we were going to move to Puerto Rico. The issue is we didn't want to just go from Texas to Puerto Rico that swiftly. We wanted to at least get some type of normalcy, come back to LA, and establish our footing, get like some content back up, go back to our normal life, and then go to Puerto Rico. Because going to Texas was a change. We didn't see none of our like family, none of our friends, none of our content team really. It was just me and Bailey. So we wanted to go back to LA, go back to some Laker games, go back to what felt normal to us. And then after like 6 or 7 months of that, because we only signed a 6-month lease coming back to LA. We didn't sign a 12-month lease, only 6. Excuse me, I lied, 8-month lease. We did an 8-month lease, not a 12-month lease. Coming back to that, we was like, all right, after getting all of that, we're just gonna go to Puerto Rico and we can try something new on that end. And I'm glad we did it because it's the best decision ever to make in my life. Like I'm gonna look in the camera right now, there's no chance I'm coming back. Like I love Puerto Rico. And I'm not even just saying.
That's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement.
Bold
But
statement.
listen. Okay, like factors can happen, but like going back to Austin, I remember texting him, and the reason I'm saying it because I have all like factual evidence. I think Logan's just saying he likes Puerto Rico just cause like he's just saying it, right? Like he's not really paying taxes out there. Like he's just saying he just likes it. He really doesn't like it. And
well, he likes not paying taxes.
Yeah, okay, maybe not. But like
But the culture, you're saying he's not really just into the culture
no.
of it and everything?
So I'm not saying he's like, I'm saying this is what I was accusing him of when me and Austin were just talking back and forth on why is he living there.
Okay.
I've lived there for 9 months now, about to be 10. I owe him an apology. Like, I love every single, like, they could raise the taxes out there and I still live there. Like, it is that beautiful out there. I love Dorado Beach. Like, you can ask whatever question you want, but it is the best decision me and Bailey ever made in our lives. Like, it's the best place we've ever lived by far. By far. They've both been there. Connor and Brandon both been there. Like, it is. We love it there. It's peaceful for us. Like maybe it may not be for everybody, but for us,
that makes sense because you're not a partier.
Not a partier. None of that.
Yeah. You never been into the whole like. So that actually, I have a question about that. Then, so in LA, I know that you were super grinding, nose down, like head down, like I'm on the grind. I'm trying to like stack bread. That's what you were doing, right? I know Bailey. I love her to death. That's my little sister, but I don't feel like she had like a super expansive friend group here.
Mm-hmm.
So then moving to Puerto Rico, like how do you feel like that? Like how's that affected her? Because I know that like here she didn't have like she had a support system, but it wasn't like
really.
Her core support group. And then like now it's not just like, oh, you didn't move across the country, you moved to like an island in the middle of the ocean, like being like, okay, hey, we're out here. Like, has she like adjusted? Is she finding like a little circle that she hangs out with there? Like, do you feel like she's good, or is she like kind of like homesick? Like, oh, I kind of miss being in the States.
Yeah, Bailey has a lot more friends in the 9 months we've been in Puerto Rico than the 5 years we've been in LA, by far, not even close. And I think because everybody in Dorado Beach, probably let's say 98% of the people are all from America, like, and they came out there. And all the men are like just entrepreneurs out there just working. And like a lot of the wives are like bonding over that. And like they're all moms. Obviously we have Alora now, our daughter. And she's grown to like a lot of people, love a lot of people. We go to parties out there. You know what I mean? Like it's, me, I'm not a partier, but I'm a smart person. Partying in Los Angeles at a club where you can get shot at any moment makes no sense. Partying in Dorado Beach with a person who's throwing it is a billionaire, and every single person around you has 10 times the money, the net worth, the knowledge, the experience, the wisdom that we have. Oh, I'm partying.
It's networking.
I'm partying every weekend. If I get an invite, I'm out, and we be out. We be suited. We be, us, like we Swaggy, everybody out there be
First
like.
First of all, hold on. Don't say it like we be suited like you was just slumming it around here, bro.
I'm just saying.
You got on a Jaguar skin jacket right now, and I've never seen that jacket on anybody, bro.
I'm just saying. We be dressing out there. You know what I mean? Like people like, oh, I love this. We bring a little bit of flavor, obviously, to Dorado Beach, but Bailey loves it out there. She's never been homesick. She actually is like 10 toes down with me on staying out there. Like. We don't plan on being there for 2 years and coming back or 3. Like, she wants Laura to go to high school out there. Like, that's how much she loves Puerto Rico. And I feel the same way.
So, since you brought it up, I was going to wait, but since you brought it up, I want to talk about it right now. Because that's a big step.
Big step.
Before our last video, Allure wasn't even like it wasn't a thing that we discussed.
Wasn't
It wasn't public
kept it under the
information.
wraps.
It was like
Yeah.
super like under wraps, nothing. Now we got a beautiful little girl who not only
Connor,
was
put the pictures up, please,
bro,
please.
yeah, show the picture for
Show
anyone
the
who doesn't
pictures
know
of
what
Allure.
this beautiful princess looks like. But not only did she arrive, but she was born in Puerto Rico, right?
Born in Puerto Rico, exactly.
Which is, I mean, that's a big thing.
It's a big commitment. I know. So we have no regrets on that. We did not want to come to Missouri or Los Angeles or Connecticut and just give birth there. Our home is Puerto Rico. Like that's not some place we're just staying just because of the benefits. We literally love Puerto Rico. And that feels like home to us, and it felt like the most peaceful environment. So Bailey always wanted to have like an at-home birth, and we did it in the living room. Like it's on YouTube, the whole thing, that's all real, and didn't have much help. We had like 3 people, and my mom and her mom, and that's it. And she wanted to do it in Puerto Rico. I wanted her to do it in Puerto Rico, so Laura is Puerto Rican. Puerto Rican baby.
That was really I was like, so Bailey is, and you are. I like, but you got a Puerto Rican baby.
Technically,
is that how that works?
That's how it works. Technically, yeah, literally. So very excited about that.
All right, so I got a question. This is kind of serious now, right?
Sure.
So because I want to get into the trade and stuff, and I want to talk about that. But first, what do you feel is the biggest change? Because I know this, obviously, I've known you for years at this point, right? And I feel like the Swaggy that I always knew was very, I'm focusing on the grind, like, because you've never been a partier. Like, even coming to my party in Vegas, you're like, I'm here, but it wasn't. It's clear that wasn't your lane.
My soul wasn't there.
Yeah, you was there, like, I'm gonna support the homie, but like, I'm just there for that, right?
Yeah.
But like, you haven't been a partier. You were always like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna grind, because you had a goal that you were trying to get to, right? And I feel that even with Bailey, I could look at you guys' relationship from the outside, and it seemed like you were very just like, I'm gonna grind, and not like in a disrespectful, like you just gonna shut up and deal with it, but like it was like, I'm gonna grind because it's what's best for us, and you just gonna reap the benefits of it. So just let me do me, right? I feel like that was the Swaggy I knew for so long, until all of a sudden Bailey's pregnant. Then I saw like a little shift where I felt like I was like, I like that guy that was never making time for anything. Like I feel like I'm seeing a different person, and then like I can say that now I feel like I see where, and this is for me. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I saw a switch flip where all of a sudden the priorities of Swag is still like, I want to grind, I want to provide, I want to do all those things. But I feel like I'm seeing a Swaggy that appreciates moments now. Because I see like you saying like these moments of like, I want to be there for this, and I want to like experience this, and this takes priority over me having my head down and grinding, because I don't want to miss this like once in a lifetime thing. Like, is Papa Swaggy like a thing that has like changed you dramatically? Like, tell me about that.
Yeah. Having a daughter probably was the biggest change of my life. And you don't really like know what to like expect. Like you can't really prepare for it. Like even like the weeks leading up to like Bailey like giving birth, like I'm still grinding. Like I'm making sure she's good. Like she's like help walking anywhere. Like I'm good going on like our walks across Dorado Beach, like to like try to like induce her and things of that nature. But like it's different because I had to watch her like give birth. Like my baby, I had to watch her like go through pain for like I think 17 hours, 16 hours was the entire labor. Like pain, like holding on to me, saying she thinks she's gonna pass out, like just. And I'm just sitting there the whole time. There's nothing I can do. Like a lot of the times, us as men, like when it comes to our everyday life, we feel like we can do something about something.
We're fixers.
We're fixers.
We see a problem, we want to fix it.
Solution oriented, always. And that was the one situation where I felt helpless. But seeing her like thug it out and like eventually, I'm gonna do it. Like I mean, like she started at like 1 a.m. Like okay, like Laura's coming out, and she didn't give birth till 7:47 p.m. So like literally like 17, 18, 19 hours straight of just like moaning and groaning. Like it wasn't like, okay, I think she's gonna come, and then like, no, like for 17 hours straight, it was just like agonizing pain until it got deeper and deeper. And then seeing that, and then seeing Olora come out, and then like immediately once she came out, like Bailey felt like better, like she was smiling. Like I mean, like 5 seconds later, she was smiling, all the pain was gone. And then like seeing like that's my family now. Like it takes like precedent over, like, realistically, like, my brothers and my mother. Like, this is my newfound family now. And Bailey was always, you know, my number one priority. But like you said, once we got to LA and we started making a lot of money, like, especially when I first made my first $1 million, it was like, all right, babe, like, we spent the last 2.5 years together by each other's hip. Like, every single vacation, we like stuck to each other. We never left each other's side, no matter what. We never had alone time. Like, never, ever, ever had alone time. And now we just made $1 million. Like, I need to put in more hours in this department so we can make 100 over the next 5, 6, 7 years, because we already have 2, 3 years of, like, we've done everything in those 2, 3 years. And it was definitely a hard adjustment for her for the first 2 years, like, to, like, have a husband you do everything with, to, like, okay, now you only see your husband maybe 2, 3 hours a day because he's in front of a computer. You know what I mean? But I didn't realize, like, how special those moments still were from the first 2, like, years of our marriage, like, how much I cherished those moments until Allure was born. Because it was like, okay, I have a family now. And being a father didn't hit me until 4 weeks into Allure being born. I came in the room and said her name, and, like, she just started smiling at me, like, just started cheesing, and, like, my heart just dropped, as if, like, because every time I say her name, like, the first week, first few days, like, nothing really was going on. So it just felt like, okay, I'm a dad, but it didn't feel like that feeling. And it felt like that week 3, week 4, then week 4, day 1, week 4, day 2, week 4, day 2, hour 1, and now it's like a never end. Like, I'm calling Bill all the time, like, show me Allure, like, all the time. You know what I mean? And I travel less now because of Allure. Granted, I've been traveling a little more recently because I'm trying to, like, get, like, crazy. Like, I want to make sure 2023 is the best year of our life, and we'll talk about that later in terms of business and everything else. But no, I cherish these moments a lot now. Having said that, I'm gonna say another answer, which is the reason why I changed as well, because I understand, like, the power of patience now, and I didn't understand that when I made my first $1 million whatsoever. When I made my first $1 million, it felt like it was never ending, because you know how it is. Like, when you make one, the second one is not a year later.
Oh yeah, it's way easier to make.
It's like,
you cross that as soon as you cross the threshold,
bro. 2 came, 3 came, 4 came, all the way up to 10, and it's just like a lot is just coming right now. I also realized the more effort I'm putting in and trying to get to that 100, the more it kept getting away from me. And I didn't understand why I wanted that so bad. And when I got to Dorado Beach, I had a talk with a lot of people. Like, I'm in this basketball, like, we have, like, a little basketball, like,
so
league.
you're still playing out there.
Oh, I'm still hooping. I'm hooping.
Okay.
I'm smoking them too. And anybody who's watching, y'all know what time it is when I get back to Puerto Rico. I'm talking to them, and they're all, like, the most successful people you'd ever realize, like, on a business aspect. And I'm talking to them, and they're just like, bro, you don't know how lucky you are that you're 27 years old and you're here. Like, I'm 41, I'm 45, I'm 39, like, I'm 51, and we just got here 2, 3 years ago. Like, yeah, we may be worth 100 million and 90 million, and you may aspire to hit those goals, but you got 20 years. And when I was 27, I was still working a regular 9 to 5. I didn't make my first $1 million until 35 and 36, and people are telling me I'm so lucky. So for me, it was like, why am I rushing so fast? Like, why am I trying to do all these bunch of different things and work 24 hours? No, because when Allure grows up, I realized that she's going to ask, was daddy at my recital? Was daddy at where is he at? Like, I don't want my daughter to ever feel like I'm not there. Because the whole reason of me getting money was so she doesn't have my childhood from a financial standpoint, but also, I also, like, forgot that I don't want her to have my childhood in terms of, like, an overall emotional, just being there standpoint as well.
Well, I think she already isn't going to have your childhood, because, I mean, if we're going to be real about it,
Yeah.
like, when you were a kid, at a point you were homeless, right?
Yeah, twice.
And versus she's already been on a private jet. You know what I mean? So I'd say it's safe to say that, like,
Kind of put the pictures up.
It's safe to say that she is not going to have your childhood. So
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the hustle, and you know what I mean. But I mean,
There's a level of overdrive to a certain extent. I guess the last thing I'll say about that is, like, my friend Don, who lives in LA, when Bailey got pregnant, and I was talking to him how like I'm a little upset because I wanted like a certain amount of money in my bank account before we had a kid, so they can go to like her trust fund and this and that and college, just everything. And he was like, bro, you got to realize you still got a whole decade to do all of that. Like she's not gonna care about any type of money until she's in like middle school, high school. Then she's gonna start asking for certain things, and then at 16, 17, she's gonna realize, okay, like we're rich. Okay, we can do this. She's not gonna realize that at 6, 7, 5. She's not gonna care. So that definitely eased me a little bit to the overall point about what you said. Is Papa Swag a real thing? Yes, because of all those factors. And now I'm patient on the money standpoint, and I spend a lot of time with my family now.
So we still chasing 100 M's, but we taking time to enjoy time with Bailey and the family and enjoying.
I don't need 100 M's by 29 years old or 30 years old. That was my goal, 100 M's by 30 years old. And I'll put the Instagram story I made last year in 2021. I remember I said 100 M's by 30 guaranteed. It can happen. If it does, we're gonna clip this, and this is gonna be the best clip I ever had in my life. But I'm not rushing for that no more. If it happens at 50, cool. If I land at 79, cool. I live a great life. I'm fine. I live in Dorado Beach, most expensive neighborhood in all of Puerto Rico. Me and Bay are peaceful. Our daughter's healthy. We have night nurses like to help us out. Like,
All right, so hold on, because I definitely want to come back to Dorado because
sure.
I want
Everything's good.
I want to talk more about that,
Everything's
but let me slide into because I know some people are like, yo, I've been here for like 20 minutes and they haven't said anything about money. I'm here for the money. I want to know about the money.
Kinda. We talked about patience and not rushing, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
like you know, a lot of your followers
sure.
follow you because of trading.
For sure.
So like trading wise, how was last year for you? And then like, what's your plan moving forward now that you got to balance Papa Swaggy with husband Swaggy with international Swaggy with still day trading Swaggy.
Sure.
So like, talk about that.
Trading Swaggy, the first 7 months of the year were better than the last 5. The last 5, it wasn't bad. It was just had a daughter, and I just like kind of like, oh, I don't need to right now. Especially because when I opened the lab in July, my first month opening the live trading lab.
So wait, you opened the lab in July.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
Okay.
You opened the lab in July.
Yes.
But for a long time, we had the Swag Academy.
For sure.
And the Swag Academy is no more.
We're gonna talk about that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to just glance over that because people are like, oh yeah, the lab, and it's like some people are gonna be like, wait, what's the lab? I don't know because not everybody went.
I still never gave an explanation on why I'm closing the Swag Academy. Like even in that goodbye video, I talked about like I got new things going on, I got my daughter, I got new businesses, but I never like fully outlined the reasons why. So we'll get to that for sure. But that was in September. So in July, when I first opened the lab, I made like 130,000 that first month of opening the lab. And after that, plus the entire year at that point, I was already up 700, 800K at that point. So I was like, you know what?
From trading.
So I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like obviously I wanted more. My goal for the year, I think I said in the beginning, it was like 1.73, you know what I mean? Which I fell short of, but that was my goal for the year. But once Allura was born and like we were just in Dorado, I did not expect to love Dorado that much. I did not expect to like have a daughter where it's like, okay, like I'm there all the time, just spending time with her and like feeling so much closer to Bailey. Like I told you before, me and Bailey, since Allura's been born, have not had a single argument, not a single disagreement, not nothing. And that is rare because you talk about all the time where like when the kid comes, a lot of the arguments come, a lot. Haven't had not a single one.
And that's not cap. We talked about this off camera.
I'm dead serious. That is not cap. You know what I mean? And a good portion of that has to do with the night nurses who are there helping us out 24 hours a day, of course.
I got to say, I think one of the things that I was so glad that we talked about when we were talking off camera was to hear just how positive you and Bailey's relationship remains to be, right? Because I've always loved both of you, and I had like separate relationships with both of you, but I always was like, man, like I kind of feel like Swaggy is just so on the grind that it can be. I'm like, and I know how Bailey is, and she's like,
she even felt that too.
She's that person who's like, she needs that love and attention and like whatever. Right. And I was like, man, like Swaggy, you gotta relax a little bit. You gotta, what I mean, whatever.
For sure.
But then, and I was like, man, I really hope that when their daughter's born that.
It's not worse.
He really just takes the time and like whatever. But I loved hearing that like because you guys have the help and you guys get to spend quality time together and you guys get to have good nights of sleep together and like just to see how positive that was and then to hear that you guys aren't arguing or fighting because like so many couples who don't have the situation that you guys have who don't have the ability to have those type of people in their life. That could create a whole cacophony of problems that people would have to deal with. But like to see that you guys are like just swimming along, and it's great. Like that's, especially seeing like a young black rich couple. It's so inspiring to see. Not only for me, and you know, I mean, I'm older than you,
sure.
but I appreciate seeing it. But I know it's inspiring to other people with backgrounds like us, right?
sure.
That came from backgrounds of not having anything, and then being like, man, look, I can be, you know, I don't have to do what I see in music videos or do. And it's not to down anybody who does that, right?
Not at all.
But it's to say, look, I can be married and have a family and be a millionaire and be successful and be happy and do it the right way. And you just did it through finance, right?
Yeah.
So like, what advice would you give? Because I was gonna bring that back to day trading. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who follow you who are still like they haven't broken through. They're like, because obviously everyone's looking for that magic formula. Like, hey, if I do this, I'm gonna make $2 million next week, right? Because that's what everybody wants to do, and it's not realistic. But like, what's the best tip you could give somebody who's like, they look at you, they look at your life, they're like, man, that's the life that I want. I want the freedom, I want the family, I want that whole thing. But how do I get over that trading hump? Like, what's the thing that they need to learn or spend the most time doing?
Hold that question for a second. I'm gonna go and finish the answer from the last one about just the trading year in general and how it was, because I don't remember exactly what you said. When I was talking about like the first 6-7 months in like Allure and like back to Bailey, like everything being all fine, what I said in the beginning about the power of patience, I realized that like, yo, I'm good. I live in a mansion in Puerto Rico and I made this much money. Why am I trying to be greedy and go for more? I can relax for the rest of the year if I want to. Like we're in September right now. I can not trade for the next 4 months. I can not do business for the next 4 months and I am good. So why am I, my daughter's here now and me and Bailey are amazing and I'm in Puerto Rico and it's just like, we just love it so much. Why am I like, all right, babe, cool, boom, go back to my office and just spend 8 hours overnight, not sleeping, going back to trading. For what? Like, if anybody can say they made $1 million off trading or 500K or 100K, they're already in the 1, 2, 3% of the world. So for me, it was like, yeah, I did have a goal in the beginning of the year, but I made more than the majority of people in this world did through trading. I'm not about, especially now my daughter's here, I'm cool. I'm relaxing. I learned and like, of course, all those conversations from those people around Dorado Beach about just be patient. It was like, I'm a do things that just feel right. And for the last half of the year, it just felt like it felt right for me to personally take a break because I went so hard the first 7 months while Bailey was pregnant that now that Alora's here, it only feels right to spend time with my family. So I'm going back to the last question in a second, but like to the lab, a lot of people in the lab know that like I'm active. Like today or yesterday, I just made $23,000 and I posted it all over social media. Like we can put the clip
Yesterday?
up.
So before you got on a flight and came here,
on the flight, bro,
you made $23,000.
I'm showing you on my phone right now. Give me a second, bro. I'm dead serious. I was active this morning. So look, 23,000 this morning. I'm gonna show on the camera, right?
It's there.
And this was 10 in the morning, and this is me on the flight. JetBlue Mint, you put me onto it.
Hey.
You put me onto it. The door's closed, bro. This morning, so like. I was active. I'm active this year. I'm back into it because it's a new year. I want it to be the best year of my life. Like, Alora is getting bigger and older. She's starting to crawl. Like, she recognizes my voice and my name now. Bailey is like happy. She's back to like what she wants to do. She's working out all the time now. So I can get back into my trading mode. But people in the lab know that like the last 3 months of last year, I hired mentors to like teach them because I was taking a break and making sure everything was all good back home and just relaxing. Now I'm back to it. So what I was saying is about the trading goal. That was my goal and that's where I ended up on. Back to the second question about people want to get over that hump. People got to know is that there is no magic formula to trading, ever. If there's anybody out there who's selling a course, a product, or a bot that says, no matter what, I guarantee you'll make money, I guarantee you'll make 10% every single month, they're lying, they're a scam, do not buy into it because there's no guarantees. There's no guarantee that I'll make money ever again in the market. I just feel I'm really, really good, and I think that's what separates me from everybody else is that I talk about this in the lab all the time. I just don't care. Like if I win or lose, and having that confidence like allows me to win. It's a book called Trading in the Zone, which is the #1 Forex book in the world, the trading book essentially by Mark Douglas, and he talks about the zone. Like a lot of athletes like Kobe and LeBron, when they're playing a game, they're in the zone. They're gonna like have 4 turnovers, they're gonna miss 10 shots or whatever, but they're trying to win the game at the end of the day. And he used that analogy to say that you're going to experience some losses. You have to understand that you're just trying to have a good win rate at the end of the day. That's it. That's all you're trying to do. Just try to win more than you lose. Or if it's balanced, then you got to have more than a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So like if your wins outweigh your losses. But that's it. Anybody trying to have a surefire way to trade it, it's never going to work. I talk about this all the time with my peers, and they all feel the same way. giving them the advice to step over, they just can't quit. In a different book called Market Wizards, the guy said it took him 8 years to become profitable. In his 5th year, he was still blowing accounts and he was working on the floor in Chicago. And then his 7th and 8th year, he made, $1 million. And then like the 8 years after that, he made 88 million in like 7 years, something like that. It takes time. And I think people look at me, because it took me 4 years, and like, all right, if I don't get it in 4, then it's over. Or somebody like Q, where I think it took him like a year, or somebody like Alex, where it took him like two years. It's like they try to compare, and I don't know if this is the exact quote. What is it? Comparison's a thief of joy, or whatever it may be. That's not the case. It may take you a little bit longer because you were raised differently, your mindset's differently. You probably had a certain set of beliefs growing up that, this is how college should be, and I should, you have to rearrange all those beliefs because that all affects trading. You know what I mean? Like, you can't come into trading with those set beliefs that I'm supposed to do this, Mark's supposed to. You can't. You have to completely go brand new and learn this market. And I think that's what takes a lot of people like longer than they should. But people got to realize that trading is probably the one thing in the world, last thing I'll say, is the one thing in the world where it's not something you should, like Kevin O'Leary says, take behind the barn and shoot it if it doesn't work in 2-3 years. You can do that in business. I don't think you should do that in trading, because all it takes is realistically one thing, and you're never really going into, like, I don't know, homelessness from trading. Like a business, you can go bankrupt and lose everything. Trading, if you're trading with $500,000, you already got money, so there's no issue. So most people are trading with 500, 1,000, 1,500. You're not going bankrupt. You may blow your account because you know what you're doing, but you're not going bankrupt. Like a business will put you 100K in debt. I got a close friend. We both know him. I'm not going to say his name, but he came to work for me already 100K in debt from a previous business. And it's like, that's not going to happen with trading, So like, if people just stuck through it, I think you see a lot more success rates. And this is the last thing. I got a lot of trading advice on my mind, bro. I got a lot of trading advice. I'd like to see, like, I was talking to Raul, and he said something as well. He said, I'd like to see the stats of traders who traded for longer than 5 years, like the win-loss percentages out of all the traders. Not traders who opened an account, started trading for 6 months, and then just decided to quit. Because that factors in. Anybody who opens an account, you are part of the percentage. But I'd like to see that percentage once it's like a 4 or 5 year cutoff. Then let's talk win-loss percentage. I guarantee it's not 99% to 1, or like, it's just not that.
I think that's the thing with your success, and you know how much I like celebrate and appreciate your success. But I think people don't see a lot of or some people still don't know because they haven't gone back and looked, right? A lot of people look at Swaggy with the chains, Swaggy with the iced out ring, Swaggy flying on the private jets, Swaggy flying JetBlue Mint. They look, yeah. Only because I put them on to it.
For sure.
But people know that Swaggy, but they don't know how many years that you were grinding and not making money.
Put all the pictures up.
And you know what I mean? And it's easy to look at you now and go like, dang, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
Because they think to a lot of people, I'm sure it seems like it happened overnight.
It does.
So then they're like, oh, I want overnight success. I want to just, I started watching his videos a month ago. I should be making $1 million by next month, right?
Correct.
But they're not seeing the years of you blowing accounts and where you were only making $30,000, $40,000, $60,000 when you started becoming profitable.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus being like, all right, bet, and now all of a sudden you have $1 million a year.
For
So
sure.
I think a big thing that people have to realize is that even you put in the time. Like, if you go back and look at the amount of books that you've read, the amount of studying you did, the amount of courses and things you took, and like the grind, it's not like you didn't become a millionaire overnight. Like, when did you start trading? Like
2014.
So 2014
8 years ago.
is when you started.
Yeah.
And most people are really just now in the last couple years
Just hearing about me.
hearing about
Exactly.
you. You know what I mean? So that just shows, like, even the timeline there, how many years it took you to pop.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you spent that time, like, no one else should look at it like, oh, I should be able to spend less time.
But I think that's what separates me from everybody else. Not to just talk about like as if I'm some genius, but I started trading with like a core set of people, and all of them after a year fell off. And then when I popped off, they tried to come back. But like, you took 4 years off. You can't get that back. You got to put 4 more years in to take that back. If you didn't just take your foot off the gas because you wanted something else, you wanted like something quick, you probably would be where I'm at. You'd probably be better than me. Maybe your mindset was better. I don't know. But I just always saw this as my way out. Trading, finance, anything in general. And I started in 2014. And I think what people, like you said, is they just heard about me in 2020. And they're thinking like, oh, like I just heard about him 2 years ago. Okay, cool, boom, I can do this in 2 years. It's like, no, I've been doing it since 2014. I didn't come out with a course for 6 years. Like, I wanted to make sure I was good and could make money from this thing. And that's one of my we'll talk about the trading industry later on, but like one of my issues is people will start trading and within like a year already have a course out. Like that's it. Like they just studied baby pips, took 2 courses, and like, all right, I'm just gonna have a.
I'm a genius. Take my course.
No, like I put in 6 years and made money before I was like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna start a course. But neither here nor there. What I was saying in general, like I put that pain in of 6 years before I popped off and everybody heard about me. But for those 6 years, the first 4 was brutal, bro. Like blowing accounts. I talk about the story a lot. Like I blew like a $6 account in college, and I almost cried myself to sleep, even though I don't show any emotion because I had no money at the time, and I spent all London session taking that account. I think it was like $2 to like 7, and then I blew 7 back to 1 off one trade. Like I was like, is this for me? But I just kept going. Like there's a lot of stories, even just finance in general. Like nobody knows this, but me and my best friend Jones, like we were so like hungry for money to like fund our personal goals, whether it was trading or businesses in general, that like we went to the local library and printed out like a list of like, yo, like I'm Chris, I'm Swaggy, this is Jones. We put like stick figures on like a piece of paper and put like, we will babysit your kid, we'll teach them basketball, we'll teach them fighting, well, I don't care how old they are, whatever. We called it college craft. And we printed out like 500 papers and we drove to the richest city in Connecticut, which is Greenwich, Connecticut, which happens to be the richest city in America, not just in America, and we put a paper in every single person's mailbox, which is illegal, by the way.
Guys, don't go around soliciting.
I did not know that.
In people's mailboxes.
Did not know that.
Especially rich neighborhoods. Especially if you're brown.
Especially if you're brown. Did not know that. We did that, and we did that, I think, for 3 hours on a Saturday for 3 Saturdays in a row until we found out it was illegal. But for 3 Saturdays in a row, the same.
So the word's already out.
Oh, word's already out. Yeah. But the same mailbox, like over and over again, like just boom, boom, every Saturday. Even if we saw people on the street, we were so like naive. We didn't know it was illegal that if we saw somebody come out the house, we would run up to them like, hey, take this. And then, or put it in their mailbox if they were just watching us like, oh, sorry, just putting this in here. Read it when you get a chance. As if like, that's not illegal. What point I'm trying to make is that led to somebody reading it, hiring us, and then the word of mouth spread through Greenwich, and then somebody had a
Is that how you got your first babysitting gig?
Yes, and then somebody had a company called Quad Jobs in Connecticut, and me and Joan like heard about that, and word spread around like what we're doing, boom, 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 and then we started working like under them as like a babysitting like people, I guess. Like what they did, Quad Jobs was like all the moms and dads in neighborhoods like subscribed to this platform, and like they matched you with like the best babysitter, whatever, maybe you can hire whoever. And me and Jones like just went crazy on it, and we started babysitting for damn near all of Greenwich. What I'm trying to make is that we were so hungry for money, we were pushing that we literally did something illegal, didn't know it was illegal, but did that just to make money, to fund our trading accounts, to blow up. And I think people don't have that drive where it's like, we're gonna do whatever it takes necessary. Like I'm talking Saturday morning at 7, 8 a.m. for 3 hours straight. We would drive to Greenwich, 40 minutes, boom, go back home to Bridgeport. Like we did that. So I think a lot of people, if they went the extra mile, the right way, obviously, they went the extra mile, their life would be a lot better. And that goes for trading, that goes for their life in general.
You know what, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick that I don't think you even know this, but you have given and tried to give such good advice, not only to like people on the internet, but even to me, like when I would ask you questions. And I feel like over time I was trying to like give you the knowledge of jewels I had for little things.
For sure.
I don't even know if you know this, but there was a point where you kept telling me like, bro, don't start trading. You're like, keep learning, keep doing whatever, keep doing whatever. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I kept doing it, and I was like, bro, this is easy. I got this. This is light work. I understand all this. Like, bet. Bro, I dropped 15 grand in an account. Like, and was like, oh yeah, I got this. Like, I blew a $15,000 account, and I want to say 2 weeks,
bro,
2-3 weeks.
15 racks.
15 G's gone.
Bro.
And literally you told me, you're like, bro, don't put real money in. You're not ready. Keep learning. Da da da. I was like, no, I got this, bro. I made like, I think I made I think I made like $5 grand that first week.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I was like, oh yeah, I got the sauce. I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
and then I just blew the entire account like that next, because I was revenge trading.
Correct.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, I just lost two. It's cool. I'll just make a bigger lot size so that way now I'm gonna win. Bro, I blew an entire, and I never told you because
You've
I was
never
like, I
told me
was
that.
so just
I've
like,
never heard that.
bro, I was so butthurt.
And that's
I
not
was,
cap for the camera. I've never heard that story, bro.
I was so butthurt. I was like, yo, I can't believe. I was like, I thought I had this. I knew. And you know what I did though? The next time I made an account, bro, I started so small, bro. Like I was doing like 0.01 lot
0.001
sizes.
penny lots.
And
Yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I was sitting at Soho House at the rooftop day trading. Like I'm you're not supposed to be working by the pool. I'm by the pool. I'm day trading at the pool with the tiniest lot size, and I was celebrating. I'd make $20.
But you see
and
what I
was,
mean? In
I
college,
was so happy,
right?
bro.
I make $5, lose $6, I'd be sick. Like it's real, because it's real money.
Bro, it was, and that was the thing. But I needed that because I was like, yo, I lost all that money, and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I need to go back and learn. And I went back and I started learning, and then I actually started like trading properly and being like, all right, let me. And then it was like I would make $300, and it was, to me, that was like the world. I was like, yo, that's, and it was crazy that I was like, yo, I got in and didn't know, and because I was chasing like everybody else. I was like, nah, everybody else is just dumb. This is easy. I get it. Like I got the bread. I'm about to throw this in. I'm about to make like $500,000 in a couple months, and we gonna be Gucci. And then I lost that, and I was so hurt, bro. I was just like, yo, I can't believe I did that. And then like to go back and be like, just happy to make $20. I was like, wow. I wish I would have done that the first time.
Which is, I tell people that it's unfortunate because like I get what you're doing, where you're coming from, because a lot of people do the same thing. Even myself, I just only did it with $250. So that's all I had as a 18, 19-year-old kid. But demo trading gives you such a false hope of reality because it's not real money. You get into that mode where I said it's helped me nowadays, where I don't care. I don't give a damn right now. Like if I make money or lose money, obviously that mindset helps you make money because you're here to do a job. You're here to like play a game essentially. You can go 68 in 14 in the NBA. Like you're still number one in the West or East. You know what I mean? So like you can do those things, and demo trading makes you feel like since there's no real emotion, you can just not care. And that's when you make the most money. You just throw whatever you want and you make the most money because it's not like you trade, sometimes you forget about it, you come back to your charts and say, oh, I'm up 17 racks, boom, 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 boom. And then when you start putting money on a real account, a lot of people will put money in a real account within 2, 3, 4 weeks and then blow it, and they either think, not you, but there's like a list. They either think it's a scam, it's not for them, or they're an idiot and they're like self-sabotaging themselves. There's a lot of different things that happen once you put money in and you start to lose. You start like talking bad to yourself, and it's just like,
you know what my problem was?
It happens.
Psychology.
Which is,
I literally, everything you told me not to do, I literally was like, man, whatever, man. And I would lose money. I was like, I'll make it back on the next one.
I hope somebody. So I did one-on-ones for the first time 2 months ago, and I recorded all of them. I have to go back in, but somebody in there said when they first went through my course, my most recent course, not 2020, like I revamped it a couple times. I think my 2022 course, that it was like 70% psychology. And they were so upset at first. They're like, yo, where's the technical analysis? Where's this and that? And I'm like, bro, this is most important. And then he told me like in that one-on-one that like, as time goes on, I realized that that's clearly what's most important, and it helped me turn my trading around. And demo trading kind of kills that psychology. I tell people all this, what helps your psychology more any day of the week is like demo trade just to understand where certain like things are, just so you don't mess anything up. But what'll help a trader more is to put $50 into a live account and trade it as if it's like a real account, but don't like get any expectation that you're gonna take $50 to $5,000. No, just trade it just to like, so you can get the real raw emotion out of trading and understand what it is. Because if you lose, it's still gonna hurt because you just lost $3 of your own money that you worked for. Like you just lost it. It's not fake, it's real. And if you make money, it feels good because I didn't have to work 8 hours a day just to make $100. Like this is real money. I just made $200. I can withdraw that and do what I want with it. And if people are listening out there, I would rather them put the smallest amount of money a broker would allow as a newbie and try to trade like that. And then once they feel like they got it, then put more money in and then try to trade for real. But don't, if you go on a demo account, within 2 weeks, you're gonna make $100,000 and it's gonna be like a real but demo account. Like I really made this, beginner's luck, but I really made this. And they're gonna go on a live account with the false like sense of reality, and it's gonna mess them up and kill them. So yeah, that's my advice to them.
Yeah, no, I know I hit you with that like out of nowhere. You're like, what? I was
I
like,
wasn't expecting to talk about that, but it's all good.
I was like, you know what? I was like, I feel like somebody out there can benefit from that
It
because
happens.
you legit tried to warn me so much, and
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, yeah, whatever.
it
Like, and
happens.
and it's like, I knew I didn't know everything,
Yeah,
but I thought I knew enough that I was like, there's no
for
way.
sure.
But then I very quickly realized the same reason I don't gamble anymore is because I
Yeah,
have a very addictive
it
personality,
happens.
and I was like, yo, I just was trying to revenge trade my way back out of everything that I lost to like get it back, and then I
Yeah,
would just lose it. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, that means I'm not ready. I need to go
yeah.
back to the drawing board. I need to learn. I need to understand what I'm doing wrong, why I didn't read things right,
Hmm.
like all those things, which make a difference. And I'm like, and I didn't give up. I just like was like, yo, I need to tone it way, way back until I get to the point where I understand. I think a lot of people lose and then go, nah, it's not me.
Yeah, it happens.
I'm out.
It
I'm out.
happens. Yeah, it is all good. But hopefully, all my talks on my YouTube channels, like I said, I don't have a course no more, but hopefully, everything I've done can get them out of that mindset.
All
So,
right, so let's talk about that. You don't have a course anymore.
yeah.
So going back to September. In September, obviously, I think end of September, beginning of
October,
October,
October 2nd. Yeah,
you
yeah.
shut down the Swag Academy. Never really gave us a reason. You
Yeah.
just kind of it was like a, hey guys, it's coming to a close, and then one day it went away. I
Yeah.
assume Alora had something to do with that, but what else?
Kind of. I did a one-on-one with a guy named Gavin. Shout out to him. He was like, because I actually told him everything. Because he asked, and one-on-one, just like, you can ask whatever question you want. It could be trading, it could be about your own business, whatever it may be. And he had asked, like, yo, like, if a business is, like, profitable, like, why would you just, end it like that? And he's a 20-year-old kid, so he's like, I'm trying to understand, because I have a business myself. He has a business with his college roommate. He's like, if a business is making money, why would you ever close it? And I told him that, like, realistically, money wasn't, like, everything, Like, yeah, the academy was still making, millions, but for me, a few things. One, Alora, of course. Like, I wanted some more time with her. But two, I did let the idea of, like, the course industry get to me a little bit. Like, I always hated it, even from year one. Like, in 2020, like, people saying, oh, you have a course, I always hated that, like, there's such a negative stigma around having a course that I just didn't want that around me anymore. And then being in Dorado Beach, one of the other reasons was that hearing like what these people actually do, like they all like taught people in their earlier years, but like hearing what they do and me being around them, what people don't know is that there's a guy I know, and none of the people I know I'm naming, but there's a guy I know that he went to PR with like a $3 million net worth, and then within 3 or 4 years he is like worth 97 million, like over 100 million right now. And he says that because when you get to PR, you start meeting a bunch of people because it's a big community, but it's not really big. And you start asking people what they do in their industry, and you start to grow a love for other industries and new businesses, and like they want to bring you on their partner here. You do X, Y, and Z. You start new business with different people.
But where you are in PR, not just all of Puerto
No, yeah,
Rico.
where I am,
Yeah,
in
okay.
Dorado Beach, yeah. And then like hearing that, and then not even just hearing that, seeing that. I'm going to Panella or Encanto or Positivo, wherever it may be, and I'm meeting people and like, oh, I do this, I do that, boom, boom, boom. We should do it. Like just all these ideas. It's like, yo, like this is something that I can do that has like more upside, 1,000,000% less stress, and it's just like 2 people or 3 people. And with the academy, I do believe that I got it off to like the wrong foundation. Like I was so focused on how I came into the game, even though like I paid for a $2,000 course before and the higher prices, I was broke. So like I want to cater to like an audience who really can't afford courses. So I'm gonna put all my prices at like $200 or $300, and it's a one-time payment. And the course you paid for, like the academy, you'll have that for life. And 2 things went wrong with that. One, people thought lifetime access to the academy of like that specific thing. Because I gave things different names. Of the Swag Academy meant lifetime access to the Gold Academy, to Energy Shifted, to the different things that I was launching, which sucked because that wasn't the case. But then two, there was never any like money coming in monthly. It was always got to get new customers, to keep the business up and running, and
No subscription model.
no subscription model. And it was hard for me to go from one-time payments. Oh yeah, okay guys, you got to do a subscription. Because like if you want to keep watching Netflix movies, you have to pay $8 a month, $9, 14, whatever. You want to keep going to the gym, you got to pay monthly. You want to go to the grocery store, you just pay every time you go to the grocery store. You don't have to pay monthly, but you just whenever you buy, you got to pay for it. And with the academy is like I was like expected to like even though webinars were never like, let's say, promising thing, it was like course, top to bottom, boom, boom, boom. It was like, yo, like, where's the live trading? We want to, like, I was expecting to do webinars every single Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Tuesday for like 3 years straight. And it was like, this was never the plan. This was never what was promised. This was never the idea. And it was so stressful. And it was annoying that, like, I'd be on a new platform and seeing the inconsistency of people where it was like, yo, I joined in 2020, haven't logged in since June of 2020. It is now, September of 2022. I want to get back into it, but like I don't have my account, and now me and Elijah and Dom got to go through 3 different servers from WordPress to Kajabi to try to figure out who this person is to give them their old account back because we switch platforms a lot. And it just seemed like so much. So what I did was like, you know what? With all those factors, I also felt completed. I felt like I've done my job. I felt like I've created 3 of the best courses out there in terms of like my peers. I feel like I'm up there, like top of the top in comparison to anybody else. I'll go toe to toe with anybody any day of the week. So I feel like I did my job, and they all got everything for life. Like that didn't go away. You type to swagacademy.com, you can still log in. Anybody who bought it before, they still have access to that. I still jump in there and talk to them. I still do webinars from time to time. What people don't know is the Swag Academy meant I'm not selling it to the public no more. I don't want no new customers. I have 23,000 people in there. I'm good. There's no monthly subscription model in there because like they got what they got. I started a new company called The Lab, and I got different things going on. I'm good. And all of those factors are the reason why I closed it. Like people think like something happened for me to close it. No, like I think the month before I closed it, I don't know if we did 6 figures or less than 6. We did something, but it was like this money is not. It's stressful money, and being in Dorado Beach is literally like pure bliss. It's like amazing. There's no stress over there really. And I didn't want to bring the stresses I had in LA where, like you said, like Bailey is like waiting for me for quality time. I'm just locking in to teach these people who paid me one time of $200 or $300, and they don't realize that like they're demanding my time in year 3 when I done gave them 300 different videos, revamped every single year, new platforms, I'm doing a lot. So it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna close it for the public. I don't want no new customers. I'm just gonna do new businesses. So
let's talk about that. You talk about new businesses,
for sure.
And before I go there, and we talked a little bit about this off camera. I think I just want to address this for kind of everybody at home. I noticed obviously me and you, we always chop it up. We have a good time.
For sure.
You have certain staples that have kind of been around, will be around. But I noticed or they may not notice that the team is a lot smaller than what it was in the past. And do you want to get into why that is? Because
yeah.
I would assume that just because of conversations that we've had, I know how much overhead you had, and I know that based on just salaries and things like that, like how much you'd be paying a month.
Technically, they do too, because I said it to TJ. It was more now, but to TJ, it was like $160,000 a month that I was paying just in overhead, and that was 2 years ago. So imagine now, you know what I mean? Like it was higher than that. But what people don't know is I think January 1st, like going into the new year, like I literally let everybody go, like every single person except for Connor, Dom, and Elijah. Like that's like my core right now. And
now, did you? I'm gonna ask this just because.
Actually, you want this is the only.
I'm gonna ask this because I'm gonna be real because I know some people like
unfiltered.
Wait, you let the whole team go?
Everybody.
So did you let the whole team go? Like one day you just called them up like, hey man, I know I was giving you. I'm not gonna be in your pockets like that, but I was giving you X amount of dollars a month. Yeah, that's just not gonna come next month. So, did you say, hey, I'm letting you know, moving forward, I'm not gonna be needing your services, and I'm gonna cash you out for X amount of time, but then.
There was no X amount of time as like before when I used to let people go. I think that I would give them 3, 4, 5 months of severance, and it was crazy because they were all contractors, and technically I don't have to do any of that. And I'm looking at Elon Musk, who is firing people when he bought Twitter. He's firing people who worked there since day one, and they get a 3-month severance or a 2-month severance. It's like, okay, I'm just just the nicest guy in the world with a big heart. What am I doing that for? And I did that last time. I remember giving somebody a 5-month severance, and they only worked for me for 7 months. You know what I mean? Because I just you know what? I know this may be a tough time. You were really looking forward to this job. We were really looking forward to having you, which is not working out. But I got you for the next. You got 5 months to figure something out. Now,
so you are the best boss in the world.
I don't get into that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, now it was I'll get into severance talk in a second, but like seeing all these companies still operate effectively, more profitably, more efficiently with half their staff, let alone a fourth of their staff, it made me look inwards on like, I literally sat down with Bailey and like audited like every single person who has ever worked for me at any point in time, but most importantly, those who are currently there, and did like an ROI sheet on like, granted, because I know people who's watching this, like, it may come off as like, how is it? Not kind-hearted, I guess, but like, because like there's
no,
like
it's business.
At
the end of the day, look,
it is business.
Look, I'm gonna say that and I hate to, because people are gonna be like, Hollywood, you're not the layman either. As the layman in this conversation, who represents the people, right? At the end of the day, we all understand it's a business, and we all understand that in business, like with anything else, you bring value to whatever you do, right?
So that's what I'm saying.
If anybody hires you for anything, they hire you to do a thing because whatever, and this is just general business. Everybody knows this. I hire you to do a thing because I know that you're gonna make me money by you doing that thing for me.
And I think that was my issue. I hired based off of potential and love and like what could be a year from now. Not the person, just the idea. Everybody I hired was great. Everybody, I love them to death. If I could like if they invited me over to meet, like see their family I would go. Like I love them all. I was that emotionally invested in every single person. When I was saying about like people may watch and may say it may not be kind of hard, like they may look at this and be like, well, there's other intangibles. Like they probably were good here, good. No, they were great. But like you said, profit. I looked at every single person and how much I was paying them in comparison to what they were bringing to the company and what value I thought they'd bring to the company. And I looked at it and I was just like, okay, wow, this sucks. Because even though people are doing a lot of different things, really I'm spreading myself out too much because 2 people could do the job that 8 people are doing. I'm just trying to like, okay, you can focus on this, you focus on this, but really 2 people, if I just paid them more money, they could take away the jobs of 8 other people, and that's like a 20K overhead just saved right there. So I outlined everybody, and I'm not gonna like, again, I love everybody, but I do feel like some of the people I let go had like better desires or more desires and better positions elsewhere, like that was ready for them, like in case something happened. So I didn't feel bad in that regard, because I know some people who I let go had like
backup plans,
another job just waiting for them. So I'm like, okay, cool, boom. For those who didn't, then it's unfortunate. But what I was saying is that when I looked at the sheet, and I hope people out there can maybe do this as well, I looked at what I was paying every month versus what was coming in. And for me, I never worried about it, because it's like, oh, like I'm paying $150,000 every single month, and like $700,000 is coming in. Sometimes $1 million's coming in. Sometimes $500,000 coming in. I don't really got to worry about it. Cool. But recently, I literally just looked at it and was like, okay, that money is coming in from like
other
5 people. Like, you know how they say that like what? 10% of the people make 90% of the money,
right.
Whatever, like that whole quote, basically. That's what it was. And I'm like, I'm talking to Bailey. Believe it or not, it wasn't me. Bailey was like, we got to get rid of like everybody.
Oh, I know Bailey will drop
you know how Bailey is, bro.
I know. Shout out to sis.
Shout out to wifey.
Y'all don't sleep on thinking that Bailey don't make no decisions.
Behind the scenes, calling the shots. You feel me? And she's like, well, I know you love them, but why are we paying them this much? And they're not like, let's just start from scratch. And I'm just like, you're right. So I looked at everybody, and I looked at like, okay, there's people over here who we love, who brought value to the business. I don't ever want to take that away. They brought value to the business. But we were like, okay, I don't want to fund passion projects no more if they're not necessarily paying, if we don't have a general plan on how we're going to monetize this long term. And we feel like it's been long enough where it still hasn't been like a reason yet. So we're like, okay, we're just going to let almost everybody go. I outlined it, and out of like 30 employees, or not employees, contracted people we worked with in the past.
You were up to 30 contracted people?
Not at a time, but like, I would say the most at a time was like maybe 17 or 18. No, maybe 19, something like that. But I was counting 30 people who don't necessarily work with anymore. Yeah. But out of everybody I've ever worked with, there was, not including Dom and Elijah, because they bring value to the business, but some of the things they do, like, bring money in. So like, some things I don't know is that, prime example, like, they do all the stuff that I can do. They go to meetings, they answer email, all the extra stuff. So it may seem like, oh, they're not really bringing in money, but like, sometimes when somebody
saving time
saving time
makes
too,
money. Yeah.
it makes money, and also they will look at my email list. They'll look at people who like canceled their membership in the lab. They'll look at people who hasn't like really been on my like website or whatever it may be, who visited in the past, and they will cold email, cold call, whatever, and like, hey, you haven't seen, is everything okay? And they will convert them to come back. And there's some things I don't even know sometimes where it's just like, oh yeah, these people came back because Diamond Elijah like was on the phone with them for 3 hours last night at 2:00 in the morning, and I didn't even know about that. I'm saying excluding them because they're invaluable. If that makes sense. But there's 3 people who I feel like I could really put like a price tag on like what the value they brought, and it was Austin, and it was Connor who's here, and it was Brandon who's here, because when you're editing videos, you can see like clearly this video was posted this day, this many people watched the video, this many people from that video clicked this website from like you can track with like a pixel and stuff like that. This is how many people like bought this business, this merchant, X, Y, and Z.
This is the conversion rate.
The conversion rate.
Yeah.
So it's so much easier to track that. So it's like, okay, like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, because I realized that like those are, and it sucks because like it's all videographers. Like I wish like, okay, like I had like a manager, aside from Diamond Elijah, a manager who like brought in money as well, X, Y, and Z. But like, for me, I wanted to be like oriented on like bringing in money and bringing in value. And I felt like I was doing too many passion project things as opposed to focusing on what was paying me. So the team is a lot smaller now, and me and Bailey are like a lot happier. So that's pretty crazy.
Let's talk about this though. So the team is a lot smaller. Basically, almost literally half your team is here right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, if that's the case, and you're kind of almost starting, I don't say from the ground up again, but like, what are the upcoming business plans for you then?
Here's the difference.
That you can operate off of such a small team.
Here's the difference. The difference is everything I was doing in the past from 2020 to now was by myself. So I had to have like a big team to do all these different things with just me by myself, you know, like thinking of the ideas and me and the team and trying to, like, it was just us. Since being in Dorado, I've come across like the power of like partnership, where I don't consider that my team, I consider that my partners. So like a lot of businesses I'm starting, I'm partnering with people. I'm doing this. I'm probably making the most money I've made like right now because like Mark Cuban says, like 70% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape. And I had 100% of a grape, even though that grape was making $5, $6, $7 million a year. But it was like, it was just me. It was stressful. Like less time with my wife and me being stressed out, not sleeping and promoting not sleeping, things of that nature. But now it's like I'm making more money with less stress, with less hassle, with the core group. And it's like across different industries right now. So that's the plan in terms of like how I'm gonna operate with such a small team, because a lot of the things I'm doing is like a partnership with me and somebody else who's like equally valuable, like if not more valuable than me in the business. But the next thing as well is that I still plan on having a team. Like I think one of the issues that, you know, me and Bailey and Austin made, because he was here at the time, was that Mr. B said he hires one person every new month that he needs. And if he doesn't need him, he does not hire nobody. But if he needs somebody, it's like March, he'll hire one person. He don't care if 3 jobs are needed. He hires one person, he trains that one person, then the next month he'll go to that second job and the third job the next month. And I think the issue with me and Bailey was when we hired Austin, it was just him. Got him trained, got him solidified. By the time it was 2 months in, he knew everything about me, her, our businesses, everything. And then from Austin, we hired like 8 people, like a few months later. Like, because we were like, oh, we had this big plan, this big vision. Like, we want to do this show, this podcast, this collaboration. So we're just going to hire this many people. And we just hired them that same month we moved into the penthouse. And it was like, okay, we just moved into a $25,000 a month penthouse and then increased our overhead by $100K. And for what? But at the time we didn't know. Cause
a month.
And at the time it was just like, we didn't know we were doing a lot, but we were doing a lot. And right now we want to step back and be like, okay, we're gonna hire one new person every single month if we need that. But right now we don't necessarily need, we need one person right now. And then if we need more, we'll add it. No matter what field it is. Like it could be a manager, it could be another videographer, it could be an assistant. We're just gonna go one by one by one. Oh, and the last thing I'll say is, it's unfortunate. We're not gonna get too deep into it, but it's unfortunate to people out there how advanced AI is and how easily we can use it. I was just talking to Brandon about this a few days ago. Like, that was one of the reasons, on top of everything else said about ROIs, on like me letting everybody go, is that like the fact that AI can write my emails for me, they can give me any answer I want in the split of a second. They can like technically write code if I need them to. They can make videos for me. That synthesia.io website. The fact that they can do all of that, and they're free and they're 24/7, and I can have them run customer, do everything I need them to do, and they don't like have desires. I love you, but it just doesn't make sense from a business model at that point. And a lot of my emails lately, damn near all of them, has been written by ChatGPT by far, like not even close. A lot of the emails that I'm sending to like out there in the world as of like email marketing is from copy.io. Like, the artificial intelligence is going to change the world over the next 10 years, clearly. I'll get into that another time. But that was one of the reasons why I let a lot of people go. Because it's like, I have this here readily for me. And Alex Hormozy talked about it as well. Like, AI is not here to replace you. I guess he was talking to business owners because it may replace some departments, but it's here to supercharge you. And it's scary, but it's been one of the most amazing things that I've used recently as a business owner. So
let me ask you this, because I know you don't want to get super specific, but like, what direction is Swaggy C heading in business wise? Because obviously when you
I'll say flat out. Yeah,
when you first started, we know where you kind of started,
Yeah.
what you built.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that got to a point.
Yeah.
Now I want to move on and do other stuff.
For sure.
What direction are you heading in now?
So a few things, and I'll be flat out honest on everything, because a lot of people are wondering like, what's next for me and what I'm starting. So a few things. One, as far as like the Swag Academy, because people be thinking that like, oh, I'm just gonna reopen the Swag Academy back up. I'm done. That's not opening back up. So I get a lot of DMs all the time saying, I thought you were joking. I thought it was just like a marketing play. Can you please open it back up? I want to buy it. I'm like, no, I'm not selling no more. I'm done. This year, I'm doing a lot more serious things, right? I do think I'm done teaching. If I do decide to teach, it may be in a more serious model. It may be like an in-person, and like a tour. I do think I'm doing an in-person tour, 2 of them. Haven't announced this yet. I'm doing one in Puerto Rico and one in London. That should be going down this year. But as far as like, 'cause that's not necessarily a business, that's just a thing that I'm doing that's gonna bring in a lot of money, probably millions of dollars. But hedge fund, that is one of the things I'm working on this year, not by myself, obviously, but with several other partners. I am developing something, I'm not gonna talk about this specifically, but something with AI, but that has to do with trading, clearly. Like, I'm developing something with that, and that's gonna be big as well. It's gonna help a lot of traders out there. That is probably gonna help a lot of my core audience more than any other business I start. No, because the next thing is a lot of people have been asking me, will I ever start one? And I've always been kind of secretive, but this year is the year I will start my own. And that's why I said my last business may help traders more than any other business. And I said, nope, I lied, realized that because probably will as well. We're probably
That's a huge announcement for you to break in a recap video.
I know, it's a huge announcement. I know.
I'm not gonna let you glance over it.
What sucks is that I have this whole idea on how I'm gonna launch it, and if I rewatch this back and I feel like I don't want to announce it, I'm gonna have Connor just bleep the entire thing out. Just bleep it out. I'm not saying nothing. Mute it.
Yeah,
and
I need my reaction though. Just leave my reaction being like,
and just mute it. Like, I don't know if you see that meme on Instagram of like the girls who like talk about sex with like, when you come over my house and you're my boyfriend, I want you to, and like it gets muted, but she starts talking like all sexual, but you can't hear it. Like, I don't know if you've seen it. I'll show you afterwards. Y'all my audience, y'all seen it out there. But that's how I feel right now. I don't know. But that is like the third thing that I'm doing next year. It's going to be really, really, humongous. I'm really excited about that. Partners as well. My own trading as well that I'm really, really focusing on. Those are the core 4 that I really plan on doing. There's something big that I plan on launching at the end of the year, but I would be okay if that waited to 2024. Those are the hedge fund, my own trading, and like the in-person events is enough to carry me throughout this year. I'm not talking about because there will be merchandise this year. There will be the trading Bible, the journals and stuff, the software that I'm developing in terms of like a tracking software. That's actually pretty big too. But those are like the core that I'm working on business-wise.
But those are things that you're looking at opening or starting to do this year?
Oh, by far, not even close. I think one is starting in Q1, one is starting in Q2. I think two is starting in Q3, and then last one will probably be in the last quarter of the year. There may be a TV show. I'm not talking Secure the Swag. I'm talking a TV show for traders that I've been planning for 2 years now that I'm 1,000,000% confident gets done this year. I talked about it in the Energy Shifted course promo, but it 100% gets done this year. So I'm doing a lot of things business-wise this year that when I look at the landscape of everything, and then I'm talking with like, not like my board of advisors, but like if a lot of my friends in Dorado are worth 80, 90, 100, 150, 200, and even a billionaire are telling me, oh, this is dope, this is dope. Like I'm telling them what I'm planning on doing, and they're like, oh, this sounds dope. Do it this way, boom, boom, boom. In my opinion, it didn't feel right to keep the academy going when it felt like it was dying a little bit, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't, I'm still making millions of dollars, but like you're not making as much money as it was the first 2 years. Whereas these other areas, not the new business, but other things that I'm doing is making more than the academy is. At that point, it felt like, okay, like I'll give everybody lifetime access. You always can log in no matter what, but I want to shift my focus from a public, like use, public consumption to something else. But I'm excited about the things that I'm launching this year. And that's why I'm here, right? Like last year I didn't travel as much because Laura was born. This year, me and Bailey are doing any and everything. Like we're traveling so much this year and doing things because we want this year to be the best year of our lives. And this is going to be a work-filled year. Purposeful though. Like I felt like 2020 and 2021, I worked my face off, but that's all I did. And at times it felt forced. Like it felt like forced. I talk about this all the time. I'm on a boat with all of Bailey's friends on her birthday. And even like my friends, like, you know, DJ was there, Austin was there, Leia was there. And everybody's upstairs partying, having fun. I'm downstairs on a laptop working. And it just felt like, I wasn't doing that purposely, but that was just my mindset. I didn't care.
That was who
That's
you
what
were.
I was.
Yeah.
I did not care. I wanted to work and make a lot of money. And now I'm at a point to where I still want to make a lot of money. I'm very patient with myself. This is going to be a work-filled year, but with love. I'm doing it with Bailey. If at any point I feel stressed, I'm not going to do it. If something brings me stress, I don't need it. My net worth is already worth millions. I don't need to do anything else again if I don't want to. Like the life I live right now, people would aspire to do that. I don't need to. So knowing that, it keeps me grounded, knowing that like, okay, work as much as you can with Bailey, spend as much time with her and your daughter as much as you can, but relax, give yourself patience. Like I go to the water, we have an indoor water park inside Dorado. I haven't even explained how Dorado looks, so I want kind of to put like a little montage of it, but we have like a indoor water park that's just indoors and not indoors in like a building, but like inside the gates. And I go there all the time now.
Inside the gates
of Dorado.
Of the gated community in which you live in with all the other millionaires and billionaires that are in Dorado.
It's a 4.2 mile gated community that's going to be expanded to about maybe 8 to 10 miles over the next decade. They just sent us an email like with their 5-year plan and what they plan on doing.
And you plan on being there
by far
for the 5-year plan?
Not even close. Like I'm be there. I'm like excited for that 5-year plan.
Swaggy gonna be the mayor of Dorado.
Bro, I'm ready. I'm ready. But and it's funny because like that's what these people are focusing on. Like when I talk to them, like what they're really like heavy set on, like it's not the next business. They're like, yo, I want to be HOA next year. Like I'm really, really passionate about being HOA of this whole community. Like, okay, all right, you got it, bro. you
got my vote, bro.
You got it. I got it. You know
what
I mean? But like I'm spending more time at the water park and going to the gym. I'm playing basketball with the fellas a lot more now. Instead of just staying in my place. We got 7 restaurants inside. I take the go-kart everywhere. It's all fun.
Speaking of golf cart, I got a question.
I said go-kart, golf cart, yeah.
So I know like when you first went there, you were like, oh, I'm just gonna have to have this golf cart until I can get a better golf cart because you wanted like a super pimped out golf cart.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's dope, but it's a very small island, so all you need is a golf cart. Like that's cool.
For sure.
And then all of a sudden, I see that an orange Tesla left, the United States proper and was transported over to Puerto Rico. And I'm like, why does Swaggy need a Tesla in Dorado, Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
what was the point?
I wasn't gonna bring it. I was gonna leave it in the States. I was gonna let my brother take the orange Tesla and leave Bailey's car in Missouri, and was gonna use it whenever we visited. We went to Missouri, believe it or not. We did not bring him. We had a Ford Explorer for the first 2 months. If you go back to our tour that Connor edited, the Ford Explorer is in the background. Like what we had next to the golf cart. That's what we used and drove for 2 months. it wasn't until I came back home and test drove my Tesla again. I was like, oh, I can't do it. So I don't care if I just take this to the airport and back. I want my Tesla. I bought it for a reason. I'm bringing it to the island. So yeah, yeah, to finish what I was saying is like I'm spending a lot more time doing little things in the community, and patience, and I'm relaxing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this year.
I mean, it's so great to hear that. I love that you just love being there and that you're having such a good experience there. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you first left, I was
Yeah.
like, because let's be real for a second,
sure.
right? Most people go to Puerto Rico because of the tax break,
For sure.
right? And then the loophole for people who don't really know, like the super general way to say it is like basically spend a little more than half of the year there. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
So it's like I was like, is Swaggy actually gonna move to Puerto Rico,
For sure.
or is Swaggy gonna just be in Puerto Rico when he has to be in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, and then come back and then just like split time?
What's
And
funny
very
is-
quickly I saw that I was like, oh, Swaggy ain't coming back. Like this ain't the move.
This
Like,
is not the move. It's funny. There's some people in Puerto Rico who do that, and it always confuses me. But before me and Bailey visited, we were like, okay, maybe like I guess is what we'll do. You know what I mean? When I first heard about it in April, I thought like, okay, like is that what Logan and Jake are doing? But when I visited and we got our place secure, we got our place in like April, but we went back to LA for an extra month and a half to get settled and stuff and get ready. Bro, we have not left Puerto Rico. Like we went there in May and we have not like literally left like to go someplace. Like I only went to like New York and Florida for like 2 days to like for business or go real quick, but I don't plan on leaving. Like I am not staying there for. So people don't know is that there's a lot of reasons to go to Puerto Rico, but one of the biggest reasons is the tax rate on both ends, business, and there's no taxes for trading, capital gains, real estate as well. And the other thing is you got to be there for 6 months and 1 day to qualify. And it sounds so sucky, but in terms of like you gotta, they make it seem like you gotta be there for. Bro, I love it there.
oh no, you have to be in an island.
Bro,
that's
it's
so
beautiful.
warm
That's
and
what I'm
nice
saying.
and beautiful.
Bro, it's beautiful.
Poor Swag. Everyone,
I'm not
right,
leaving.
poor Swaggy in the chat.
Bro, right? Like, nah, bro. I'm not. I love it there. And what's crazy is that what I said earlier in the beginning is that I thought people just went there for the taxes, but it's like no, bro. Like, there's the tax rates. There is the weather. It rains a good amount there, but it's sunny almost every day. And if it's not sunny, it'll just rain a little bit. But
How humid is it there?
it's not that humid, right? It's not that humid, right? It's just it's sunny, but it's like 85 all the time, almost like for the most part. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not humid. The people out there, the networking, and then the community. Like people in Puerto Rico are so nice and so welcoming that I love being around them. And I think what people think, the last thing I'll say about the taxes is that people think that you want to go to Puerto Rico just to not pay taxes. That's not the case at all. What a lot of us talk about is that when you're in California, we don't know where any of this is going, right? So I make $5 million. I'm cutting the government $2.7, $3 million check, and then the roads are still messed up. There's still stuff on the streets. I don't see any of it. Whereas like in PR, people don't notice a lot of people are doing stuff outside of the gates and building certain stuff and building certain facilities or malls, this and that. Me and Bay are building a big community center in Dorado because we don't necessarily have one in Dorado. Not in the gates, outside the gates. Like we're just building a big community center where it's like basketball, just a lot of fun stuff because we can see where that's going. I don't mind spending, I don't want to make $20 million this year, which hopefully I'm projected to do, and then keep all 20. That's not the goal. Like me and Bay donate to charities. I want to give, a lot of money to like dialysis. That's obviously very heavy to me because my dad was on that before he passed. Bailey, when it comes to mothers who can't afford home births because like doulas and midwives and stuff like that. We want to give money to charities. I want to spend millions of dollars in this community center. Like I can see where like money is going. It feels like money is going to good use. That's the difference. So I really care about Puerto Rico. I really care about helping. I want to start businesses that aren't necessarily for like pure profit. Like all this like hedge funds, stuff like that, yeah, that's all money related. But there's other businesses that I want to start that I feel like PR may be lacking, that I feel like will help the island be better. That is not necessarily like money from my pocket. Like it's just
helping the community.
Bro, drivers aren't a thing out there really. Like Uber is a thing in San Juan, in Dorado. good luck, like, because Ubers it's not a thing. And all the drivers are in San Juan. They got to drive 40 minutes to Dorado and then take you 40 minutes to the airport. Nobody drives. So there's not really like a car service. And there's like 10 other things that all of us talk about that like we want to help, like Dorado, Guaynabo, Bayamon, like Ponce, like just a lot of different cities in PR we want to help make better. People get it misconstrued that we just want to make 20 M's and just keep 20 M's. That's not the case at all. It's not the case at all.
I feel like this has been overall positive, but I can't wrap it up without, we got to touch on some drama.
Are we wrapping it up?
Or no. But I was like, that's why we can't wrap it up without touching on some drama.
Is there drama?
I don't know. That's why I got questions.
You just got questions.
I just got questions.
All right, cool. Let's talk
so
about
like,
it. Let's talk about it.
I noticed that like you and Q got together. What's that about? Like,
yeah.
Y'all wasn't like boys. Y'all wasn't like, hey, let's hang out and get together on our. What's up? What happened?
Not at all. There was a few shots last year. But me and Q just like DM'd each other one day. I think what happened was I saw on Q's story, somebody had asked him like, when are you and Swaggy getting together? And he was like, I don't know, man. Like it's on him. Like I would love for two black kings to get together, but I don't know. Like people may feel a certain way, X, Y, and Z. And he thought that I felt a certain way about him. But if you go to my recap last year, I heard he was talking bad about me to somebody else. So I unfollowed him, and he took offense to the unfollow and thought it was beef, whatever it may be. So I jumped his DM after that, like, yo, like, I thought it was beef on your end. We talked it out, talked for that entire day, and we realized it was stupid. We're both influencing the community. We're both big, powerful names. And I actually went out to Miami and met up with him and chopped it up with him for about 5 hours straight. And cool as hell. Like, cool as hell. Said the same about me. We talked about literally everything, family, business, money, things we could do together. I know a lot of people in the comments were like asking what business are me and Q starting in the future. We 100% will start one in the future. Anthony as well, obviously. But it was just that. It was just like, we don't have time for drama. We both make a lot of money. We both influence the community. What are we fighting over? And this is why one of my points in the recap last year, like, what is everybody, why is Sean Lee so mad? Why is Daniel Savage, why is everybody so mad? Like, we're all trying to do the same thing. Why can't we be on the same page? I think me and Q came to that mutual ground. Q had an AI tech party for his new company. And I went out there and visited with Bailey, brought Allura out there, and we had fun, chopped it up. I left to go to the Miami Heat game with Bailey, and then I came right back to the party and had some fun. It was just cool, you know what I mean? So, all good things to say about Q. We got a few things coming up this year and next year, and yeah.
So let me ask you this. I feel like you made a great point. Like I love seeing it. You guys squashed, which wasn't actual beef.
It was nothing.
You know what I mean? I love seeing that. But
Yeah.
like, so I feel like every year you have progressively, like more and more cemented your name in the history books of like greatest financial like
Forex.
influencer,
Yeah.
right? So what is your opinion as being like what people have called the GOAT? You know what I mean? What is your opinion on other influencers and like what they're doing in the industry right now? Do you think it's like helping? Do you think it's hurting? Like what do you think?
It depends. I feel like everybody's doing a little bit like good of everything. I think I have a few issues that I feel like could be better, and especially my industry, in the Forex industry. I can't really speak on stocks or anything like that, but in my industry, I want people to stop feeling like there's only one strategy that can work in trading. That happens a lot in trading where like, oh, you trade this way, you're never gonna make money. Like a lot of people feel like institutional trading or trading this certain way is the only way to make money. And I think that's very, very dangerous because you're like tearing a lot of people apart and making them indecisive on what to do and making them try to convert as if it's like a religion, when there's a lot of profitable people who trade the other side of an institutional trader. And I think that's one of my biggest issues in this market. I talk about all that, about people starting courses after like a year and a half of trading and stuff like that. And another issue I have is that people like, I guess, tricking the audience per se. It's tough. I'm walking a very fine line here.
You're dancing on eggshells,
I'm
bro.
a very fine line. But a lot of times I'll get in my comments on YouTube where they're like, yo, you only made 30,000 in a day, 40,000. This other trader made 120,000 in a day. And it's taken every bit of energy out of me to not say that's fake. I've talked to him. He says he does it for marketing and it's not real. And if I expose them, then I'm the snitch, I'm this or that. But I don't respect that. You know what I mean? Like I've actually like stopped chopping it up with certain people who do stuff like that. I'd rather make. I don't make 20,000 a day every day, but those 20K days I have, 30K days I do have that are anomalies, but that I do have, I'd rather do that than try to be like, oh, I made 20,000 a day, I made 3 million in a month. It's just like, bro, like, do you know how hard it is to do that? I'm not saying everybody out there who does that is fake. I'm not saying it at all. But there are specific people who I know
won't name
who have hit my phone and saying, "Yo, I want to get you on this loan." I'm just like, well, if you want to show that you made 115K, we can do that. I got you. And it's just like, that's not me, bro. I can't do that. So, but I don't do that I don't respond to the comment. I just, bro, I tell the person, bro, stop comparing everybody. You don't know what anybody is doing. Like 40K for me is great. You can follow that person if you want to make 130K. I don't care. I think that's damaging the FX community as well, because it's giving people a false hope of reality that they can do that. And then when they make that $2,000 you were talking about at Soho Club making $25, a lot of people feel like they're happy at first, but then they feel bad because they go on Instagram and they see one trader done made 98,000 in a day, which is very, very possible in this industry. Very, very possible. But I'm saying not everybody is real. Is real. The last thing I'll say, and this is more of like a personal issue that I don't have with this person at all. It's ICT. I do not have an issue with ICT at all. I think he's a great trader. I think he's one of the greatest traders in this industry. I think the way that he's tweeting now is kind of rubbing me the wrong way a little bit. Only because, and again, like I will salute him to the end of the day. He's a great person, great trader. But he's tweeting nowadays where he's saying, I am the master of your master and the teacher of your teacher. I do not sell a course. Everything I do is for free. It's just for you to watch for free. I want nothing for you. Good luck. And for the people who are just coming into this industry, even a year in, they're looking at that and they're approaching people who have courses as if like, yo, you're selling a course. This person his free stuff is way better than your course stuff. Like, why would you even do that? I'm not just gonna learn from him. And my issue with that is he doesn't paint the whole story, which means, my brother in Christ, you sold a course for 8 years straight. And there's a video of you
Tell
out
the
there.
backstory, bro.
There's a video of you out there saying, I've made more money teaching than I ever did trading.
Let me tell you something. I've made so much more money teaching than I did trading.
There's a video out there of you saying that. And I just really wish he flat out said, guys, I do feel like I'm the master of your master. I do feel like I'm the best trader in the world. I did have a course, but I don't feel like the course industry is for me no more. So right now, all my videos are for free and for you guys to benefit. Good luck. At least that, so people can come in, because I'm getting that backlash. Before I closed the academy, I was getting that backlash. Why do you have a course when someone like ICT, who's one of the greatest traders, does not have a course? Like, why would I even pay for yours? And then it's like kind of affected me, where it's like, bro, you just came into this industry. I was there when ICT was selling courses and monthly. I was there. You know what I mean? Not saying he should. He should. Like, he's a great trader. I just hate that part. That
You hate the projection that it's putting on everybody else.
it's coming off as if like I don't sell courses. I'm doing it for free. This is just for y'all, when you did it for almost a decade. And I just wish that, because people who are there know that, but the newbies who are like, I'm an ICT trader.
Yeah, they think it's just all
They
philanthropic.
think it's just all that.
Yeah.
And I do think now it is philanthropic, because he really cares now. But like,
It's easy once you make your money to be
you
like,
done made 30 M's.
now
Come on,
that I
brother.
made the money, I guess I'll give
Come on.
back.
And
Like,
again, I don't want him to hear this and think there's beef. No, I like you. I think your videos are dope. I think you're a great trader. I think you're definitely one of the best traders out there. I think he has the biggest following out there, like in terms of like a religion. People actually follow him to the death. Like, people have ICT in their name, like Danny_ICT. Like, that's real. Nobody has, a Darren _Swaggy Academy. Like, he has an actual religion. He's done a great job. I just have one issue.
unless if you have it, put it in the chat, because I want to see if somebody has swag.
I don't think anybody has that. You know what I mean? You feel me? But that's the only issue that I have, and I just wish he fixed that. That's all. But that's all I would have.
All right, so just give me a little bit on the lab. Tell me, like, what, for the people who don't know, what is it, and then what's your plan for it moving forward?
Yeah, so the Live Training Lab was a platform I created, my first platform that I created before closing the academy, but with the idea that I'm closing the academy within the next few months. Because in the academy, it was a course, top to bottom course. And that's all it was. But a lot of people were asking in there, like, we want to trade with you. We want to see you trade. We don't want to just hear, like, you should do this. We want to see you trade live. And for me, it didn't necessarily make sense to just start a $20 a month program within the academy because, to be transparent, even though I had 23,000 people in the academy, a lot of them were pandemic people, meaning they joined in the first year, think they're going to make money real quick, and that was it. They weren't really active. So it was probably like maybe 2,500 people that were really active. The other people were just like, haven't logged in a year and a half. I'm not in, blah, 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 blah. Like they just wanted to make quick money and realized Forex was not that, so they stopped. But they had lifetime access, so I couldn't legally like take them off. So you know what? I'm gonna create a whole new platform that's just dedicated to me trading. I wasn't gonna call it like Swaggy Trades at first, but I decided to call it Live Trading Live because I had other mentors. And that's what it is. It's literally in there. There's education in there, but it's live education. Everything's live in there. There's not like a pre-recorded, not 100 videos telling you how to trade. There's a pre-recorded webinar list, like from the past, because we've been open for 7 months now. So there's all the webinars we ever shot is there, but there's no like education in there that's like, okay, top to bottom. That's the academy. In the lab, it's like you can trade with me. You can see my trades in real life time. You can ask me any question on the live. We all chop it up together. We go live almost 5 times a week. This is not a signals group where it's like we sit behind a computer and then we just text you something. We're on live together. You guys see my face. You guys see me entering this trade live. I'm telling you what I'm trading, and we just talk, chop it up, talk family, everything. So that's really what the live is. It's a premium community where we all trade together. People may not even trade like me, but they're just in there because they like the vibe. They don't like being alone, trading in their own house. Like to trade with a group of people and feeling like they're a part of something. So.
No, it's dope. I mean, the thing I will say, you've always been really good at creating communities, and whether it was from way back in the reality TV days, and you were like a polarizing person that people were like, people hated you and people loved you, but like everybody was talking about you, right? But then after that, all of a sudden people like rallied behind you and like wanted to be a part of it. And it's like, I feel like you do a great job of bringing groups of people together for like a common cause. And the thing right now, everyone's like, hey, I want to learn this, or I want to be around other people that are traders and like-minded people. And I even remember like being in the Discord. I would just hang out in the Discord and like moderate, and I would just like watch. And it would literally, you weren't even around. Like you're nowhere near the Discord. You got, hundreds of people just in there talking and bouncing ideas off each other and like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, why do you want to do this? And I don't want to do this because of this, And but you were the catalyst that brought those people together. So I can really appreciate.
And now imagine that times me being active, like super active. Like you said, I wasn't really active back then. Now I'm active, and you get all of that. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a lot. And the last thing you said was, what are my plans on doing that moving forward? I plan on like trying to like either combine that with the AI trading platform I'm trying to create. That'll probably be in Q2, early Q2 probably, and figure out how that goes from there. But it won't be like its own platform for 6 months straight. It'll still be a community, but in trading and stuff like that. But it's going to be merged with this AI platform I'm trying to create soon. So yeah.
All right, so we covered a lot of things. We covered most of last year. Almost got to the end of it. But I feel like I had to get some drama in there just for people who wanted a little bit of drama.
For sure.
But I want to put a real positive note out there. Obviously, this was Alora's first Christmas. This is the first Christmas that you're a dad, that Bailey's a mom. Like, so what was your first Christmas, not only with a daughter, but first Christmas in Puerto Rico like this year?
Oh, it was the best. It was 85 degrees outside, and it was sunny, and Alora was very, very happy. And we didn't have our family. I think it's like some of Bailey's cousins came, but like we didn't have like our full family there. Like my older brother Carl came, my mom was there, but like Bailey's like mom or dad or sisters didn't come. It was just really just us, and we had fun. Alora had fun. Alora was smiling the whole time. She didn't know what she was doing, but she was ripping up presents, and I don't know. I'm just excited for her to grow up and how it looks like in year 2, year 3, year 4, and how she actually evolves as a person, evolves like as a holiday person, loves Christmas, but our first Christmas with Laura was a success and it was very, very fun. Oh, I'm sorry. The most important thing of this video that I have not mentioned is that me and Bailey are about to buy our like actual dream house, like in Puerto Rico in May, in 4 months from now.
So buy, not build.
No, buy. We were gonna build, but I'm not gonna say his name, but there's a famous person who built his house, and he built it, I want to say a few years ago, but he's leaving that house to go like somewhere else in Puerto Rico, and he wants to sell this home. And nobody wants to buy the home because everybody in Dorado likes to live by the beach. Like there's houses that's on the beach. Everybody wants to live either on the beach or with a golf cart, or not golf cart, excuse me, golf course behind them. This house is like near the gym, but it's like kind of like a cul-de-sac type of thing, where it's like you got to leave the cul-de-sac, go this way, and then like, okay, you see the gym, then you see the beach and everything else. But it is the most beautiful house I've ever seen in my life, and me and Bailey have been doing tours, and we're probably gonna put an offer on it very, very soon. And that is probably gonna be the house that we probably live in for the next.
Your forever home?
Yeah, for now. I guess I don't know what happens 10 years from now, but like if we go somewhere else, like the guy thought it was gonna be a forever home, but he left obviously after like 6 or 7 years. No, I lied. He built it in 2011, so after 11 years he left. So I don't know, but that is the goal. That's gonna be our first forever home. Cause we're in like a big mansion right now, but we're renting right now. Like, you know what I mean, for a very, very heavy price, and that's gonna be our forever home.
All right, Swaggy, last question. Final thoughts. Give me, what was 2022 to you?
2022 was the most eye-opening year that I've had so far. 2020 was filled with, if you go back to the recap, it was filled with so much money that I made that year. I was so money-oriented. And then 2021 was filled with so much like grief, right? Like with CoffeeZilla and Sean and Q and Daniel Savage and the fallout with Austin, like all of that all in 1 year. And then like, I just couldn't handle all of that. And then this year it was like clarity, like and happiness. Like I'm been the happiest I've ever been, because I found peace with making money and making businesses that, yeah, I can make 15, 20, whatever, but if I don't, it's okay. I'm living great. I have a daughter now. Me and my wife are better than ever. We live in Puerto Rico. We're very, very happy in Puerto Rico. We feel like we was never like gonna stay in LA forever. We feel like we found a permanent place. We got a permanent daughter, obviously. Like our marriage is permanent. Like, everything is happy and it's clear right now. Obviously, we got rid of like our team to start fresh. It's just so eye-opening 2022 was, and it wasn't the year I expected. Like I said, in the beginning of the year, I expected like to just dominate and make all this money, and I made a lot of money. And I kind of dominated, but like dominated my personal life, which I didn't think I would do. I thought I would dominate like the Forex. I didn't think I'd close the academy. I didn't think I'd be doing I'd be opening up a hedge fund the next year. I didn't think I'd be doing all these major businesses that a lot of people in my community are into. I didn't think any of that. I just thought I'm gonna dominate my Forex industry again with just YouTube videos and secure the swags, and that's not what it was. I dominated my personal life. I got very closely with Bailey and Laura, and now next year, which we talk about all the time in every single recap, what's the next year look like for me? I don't know, but whatever it is, I'll be happy with the results if I continue to put the work in, no matter what it is. But I know it's gonna be crazy. So.
Swaggy, you know I love doing this. I love being here. I can't wait to do the recap video for 2023 so that we can see what incredible stuff that you do this year. You know, I wish you nothing but success and prosperity in the coming year. It's going to be real big for both of us. So, guys, there you go. Your 2022 recap of what Chris Swaggy C. Williams was up to. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. My name's Hollywood. We out.
Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you, and please subscribe to the channel. See you next year.